Bryon Powell here in Chamonix, France with Geoff Roes and Dakota Jones. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Great.
Did you get a good sprint workout in this morning, Dakota?
No, I didn't. I just went home and ate a bunch of bread and cheese.
Sounds much better than doing
It's
some
France.
speed work.
That's what we do here. I've been working on gaining a lot of weight since I've been here.
You're looking a little chunky. Thanks. You'll have some good fuel for the 167K, right?
167K, that's right.
How are you? Did you go out for a run this morning, Geoff?
No, I'm going to get out this afternoon for a little run, but
Gotcha.
I haven't done a run since I've been here. So.
And when did you arrive?
Monday.
Monday, yeah. And you've been doing a lot of running since you've been here. You were in Cersei now. You were in Switzerland for a week. Is it better?
Yes, we were in Switzerland for a week.
And you were here with
with a bunch of people. Really, it's a really cool race, and they really support their elite athletes in a really cool way. And I was staying with Nick Clark and Scott Jaime in a condo up in Zinal, which is like right up at the head of this valley, and there's like huge 4,000 meter peaks all around. So that translates to something like 14,000 feet, maybe higher. I mean, they're like completely different from Colorado. It's like massive glaciated monster faces. Like it's nothing I've ever seen before. It's so awesome. And I did too much running around there, and then we came here to Chamonix. Done too much running around here, but it's not too much. It's been worth it. That's why I run.
Saturday you ran Mont Blanc?
Yeah, so then Saturday Killy invited me and Nick up Mont Blanc, and Nick's kind of wuss, so he bailed halfway.
I heard that about him.
Yeah, he's not very cool, but but Killian and I and several other guys who were much stronger than us, or than me, not us, we went up to the top of Mont Blanc from Les Houches, which is like a 12,000 foot climb.
Worth it?
It was totally worth it. It was 6 days before the race, but I got up to the top, and I knew that I would never regret that.
Yeah. So, Geoff, you came over here last year for UTMB and started the first edition before it was canceled. Didn't make it out there for the second day, but on the first day, did you learn anything about racing in Europe? Was there anything different or just a different feel? Tell us a little bit about that.
I mean, I think the most important thing was that I learned that it's not that different. It's still just running. And I definitely came into it last year feeling like worried there was going to be all these little things that just seemed so different. And it was nice to get 3 hours of racing in here and see that, you know, it's just going out and running. And it's like, you know, there's differences, obviously. Having thousands of spectators out on the course and stuff is not something we have in ultras in the States. And you know, slightly different racing styles, it seems like, but no, I mean, the main thing I learned was that all I need to do is just kind of go out and run my race and I'll be fine. Yeah,
speaking of different styles, how was the start? People running like 30-minute 5 miles. Was that a bit different than the typical Western States start or the typical Wasatch start?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you always get a few outliers who go out really fast, and when you have 2,500 people in a race, you get 30
a big
of
tail,
them or 50 of them or something. And so it's that sheer number of people who are going out really fast is kind of shocking. But
and last year you were in the top 10, like 7th, 8th with Mike Wolf when
so I stayed like kind of in, you know, lurking distance of that front group, but it was so early in the race I wasn't even thinking about where I was in relation to other runners.
Now, how about you? You ran your first European race at Cersei now. Any differences there that sort of
really
give you an education?
There's 1,000 people in a 20-mile race, and it goes straight up for 6,000 feet. And I came from Colorado hiking up for hard rock style, and I thought I was good at hiking, and I was just getting blown away by these people who were just flying up this mountain. It was so ridiculously steep. It's really cool. I mean, it is cool. It's competitive, and it's hard, but you know, they're really good at it.
It sort of humbled the whole American contingent, including Nick Clark, counting him and Max.
Yeah, we didn't really have a whole lot of expectations coming into the race. Yeah. I think, you know, Max and Glenn might have, but they kind of race different races than we do, so I don't know. But it was a very cool race.
So were the people flying up past you or ahead of you weren't using poles, or are they?
No, there were very few poles in that race. 20 miles. I wonder why that is. I didn't really think about it.
It is that steep that you.
Yeah, it was totally steep enough. Like, I would love poles doing that. I was hunched over, hands on my knees, the whole way up it.
But you're not going with them on tomorrow evening.
No, I chose not to. For the same reason I chose not to use poles at Hard Rock. It's just that I like the efficiency of having 2 bottles. So I'll carry all my gear in a backpack and then have 2 bottles for water, and then so I can fill them up real easily and just deal with them a lot easier than a bladder.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a lot more running in this race than even hard rock. There's lots of long valleys where you're actually running, and then you go straight up for 5,000 feet. So that'd be nice to have poles there, but there's a larger percentage of running. So I think I'd like to not have poles for that.
Yeah, and you didn't use them last year, and you won't use them again this year.
Mm-hmm.
What's your reasoning behind that?
I've just never used them. I mean, I have a pair at home in my closet somewhere. I think I've done one run with them, and and I'm open to the reality that they're beneficial and would be something I would maybe use at some point in the future. It just hasn't happened yet.
So yesterday, the three of us got to sit on a pretty cool course briefing with Topher Gaylord. Did you guys pick up any good knowledge there? Any good tips that you hadn't heard before, or to just sort of inform you?
It made me nervous.
Which part?
The whole race.
Him keep saying, "Oh, and then there's another 1,000 meter climb."
No, it was cool. Topher really knows the race, and he's a really knowledgeable guy about running in general. So it was neat to get his perspective on how to run the race, coming from someone who's done it 7 times.
He's finished 7 times. Yeah.
7 times, and he lived out here for a long time, so he's fully in tune with the Euro racing style and all that. So it was cool to get his perspective.
And you?
Yeah, I mean, most having been over here last year and kind of done a very similar briefing with Topher last year before the race on the phone, like. I'd heard a lot of it. It was good to be reminded of a lot of the things, and I'm so much the opposite of Topher in terms of like I would never
have a list of
even
equipment with grams on it.
Even if I've done this race 7 times, I would not know 1/10 as many details about it as he does, and so it is good. It's like it's good to have that information there without me needing to be responsible for accumulating all of it and stuff. And just it's awesome to talk. I love talking to anybody is like passionate and is excited about anything as he is about this event, and so you draw that like passionate energy from him.
He's a passionate person to begin with,
and
then you have
this event,
which is like
it's awesome. He just lights up when he kind of lights up all the time talking about anything, but
mention UTMB
this particularly.
So what's lighting your guys' eyes up for tomorrow and Saturday? Is it the competition? Is there a certain part of the course you're really excited to see? Just to race the distance? What is it?
Yeah, since I've been out here, I've seen a lot of these mountains running all over the trails around here, and I mean, they're just stunning. They're beautiful. They're amazing. And that's why I run, to see that and to run through it and to kind of immerse myself in it. And UTMB is the perfect example of that. You run around Topher calls it the rooftop of Europe, and that's true. It's the highest mountains on the continent, and they're just amazing. They're unlike anything I'm used to.
And I've talked to you before about the fact that you like to challenge yourself in the mountains.
Right.
And you couldn't have a more challenging field to run with. I mean, even if you're not competing them in every moment, there are people going to be pushing you the entire way and getting the most out of yourself, right? Yeah,
that's true. And there's a ton of competition. It'll be cool to see how it goes, but I'm just gonna run and try to get through it without feeling too bad. I think I've tried to race my last 200-mile races, and they've just felt bad, really bad for a lot of it. And so this race, I want to just take it easy and run the race and enjoy it.
I mean, is there a certain point where you're like, a certain distance to which you're like, this is not the start yet? Like, you gonna run to Courmayeur like that?
Yeah, I don't really know the course. I'd say over the Grand Col Ferret after Courmayeur, that's at about, 120 kilometers?
Something like that.
Yeah, so maybe 40, 45 kilometers to go. And so maybe after that if I feel good. But I think running at Mont Blanc was a good example of the running I really like to do, because it was an adventure on something I'd never done before in beautiful mountains, and I wasn't racing anybody, I was just out there, and I really enjoyed it. And I beat Killian.
I was going to say,
I did get there like 10 minutes before. And who cares that he has a fan club that he's talking to 20 minutes back,
What are you looking forward to, Geoff?
It's a lot of the same stuff. I mean, but definitely that combination of, running in these mountains and combining that with running with thousands of other runners and hundreds of other top runners from around the world. And it's I'd love to come here sometime and spend a few days, like making the whole circuit around, kind of as a more adventurous, kind of non-competitive thing, but at the same time, like, you know, that's a very different experience from racing it, and I'm really excited to not just to be in these mountains and to see this whole route finally, hopefully, but to race it and to race against the competition out there, and it'll be, you know, I feel like every 100-miler I do now says this, but it'll be the most competitive 100-miler I've run, and
it's really not cliche, but this one is like,
yeah, and it's not that it's not being exaggerating. It's just been the progression in the sport the last few years. Where,
I mean, if you look at it, like, you see the top 5 from Western states all going to be here. You're going to be here, and Dakota's going to be here, and Miguel Eras and Sebastian, and
it's
like, I mean, what?
Killing.
And Killing was in the top 5 Western, yeah.
Oh yeah.
He did kind of win that one.
Right, I got that memo.
So, like, who you guys, you know, not gonna ask your top 5, but who are like the couple people you think competing for the win this weekend?
Dakota.
And you, Bryon.
And me, yeah, I'm going out hard.
I figure if I can beat the two of you, I've got it. No, I mean, obviously Killian's the favorite. I mean, there's no reason to not say that. You know, beyond that, it's just there's dozens.
Yeah.
Probably a few dozen people who could win it if things fell their way, and so it's exciting.
Yeah.
What do I think? I think Killian will be in the top 3. I think Geoff will be in the top 3. I have no idea about anyone else. There's so many possibilities. Miguel Eras is super strong. Mike Wolf is super strong.
Okay, yeah.
He pushed tons of other
Killing to the finish at Western. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ton. It's too much to tell.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you guys very much, and
Sure.
best of luck this weekend. Have fun out there.
You
Thanks,
too.
Bryon. Yeah, you too.